All right, welcome back. Welcome back, guys. We've been gone for a while. I think it has been 6 months or so since we did our last podcast. And there's reasons behind that. So, those reasons we're about to delve into here in just a minute. But for now, we wanted to kind of get in and get started and kind of reintroduce ourselves. My name is Randy B, and this is
DJ Seeley.
all right. So we the last time you saw us, I think we were doing some podcast and videos from Daytona, way back in March at the rally for the spring, and then before that we were actually in studio, and we did I don't know what 10 or 11 episodes in studio, I believe.
Yeah.
So now we are in one of our basements with a little makeshift studio that we're going to kind of use for a while until we get real big and popular and have a couple million followers, and then we'll maybe we'll buy a facility and do something big.
Yeah.
What you been up to lately?
Man, just living the dream. Can't complain. Um, a whole lot of stuff going on, really. Daughter's going off to school, and I got a little construction project going on at the house. Work's been busy. Blessed to say that. Can't,
Amen.
no complaints there. Uh, Bought a new bike today, but we can talk about it later on. But yeah, summertime's winding down, fall's coming up quick. Rally season, I guess, fixing to come about, and excited.
It is. It is. What, 3 years ago, and I guess maybe four now. I hadn't bought my bike yet. I hadn't got back into riding. You had one, and you and your wife were, kind of meandering around the southeast on a trike, and since then, we've met new friends, and lots of things have happening, and we're about to kind of break all that down here in the next few minutes on kind of where we're at and kind of what our plans are and what we're hoping for the future. So to get things kind of kicked off and give you a heads up for those that do listen and do follow, if you'll notice, there's only two of us sitting here, and there has been three in the past, which we were known as Ragnar riders during that time frame. And our third wheel, John Woody, Big John, I think is what we called him.
Yeah.
Fantastic individual, and he's had some life events that have happened that have came his way, and which is part of the reason why we've been on kind of hiatus and delay, trying to let him kind of sort through and figure out which direction he needed to go. And I think he felt, I wish he actually was here to kind of say it himself, but I guess we'll put some words in his mouth for a few minutes, at least some sort of an idea. But he's had some life events that have happened. He's become a grandfather of late, and son going off to college to play baseball, and work and just other things going on. He just felt like at the moment that he needed to kind of step aside, but I suspect at some point he'll be back in a chair beside us.
Yeah, I really hope so. At least, on occasion. When this whole podcast, the genesis of this podcast goes back. When we first started riding together, right? I guess it's been several years now, and it started off as us having beers around the
Yeah,
table, and
that's
it's like,
right.
we could publish this. People would listen to it. We can talk for hours, but you know, then Ragnar Riders came to be. It was really just kind of an off the cuff. Uh, it started off maybe even a little bit of a joke between us, and then it just kind of stuck. And when John decided that he was going to have to step away, I think you and I both agreed that this podcast, like he was an integral part of it, and moving forward without him, it just wouldn't be the same.
Correct.
So we don't want to pretend that it's the same, uh, and so we want to kind of kick off. I don't want to say a fresh start, but
Different direction.
yeah,
I think the direction would be not to exclude John, but to and actually, let me back up just a little bit, because John actually was involved in this conversation prior to him stepping away,
sure,
us possibly making this change. We had kind of two social media things going. And one of them was called Southern Tulane, and one of them was Ragnar Riders. And we started out really pounding pretty hard on Ragnar Riders, and Southern Tulane was somewhat of something I had done and was kind of on the side. It took off and had a little bit following there. So there was discussion made. Actually, I think John's idea at one time about potentially doing away with one of them and just focusing on one. So what we've done is we are actually making this particular video and podcast to phase out Ragnar Riders. It will always be a part of us, but it just won't be a part of our podcast and videos going forward, and we will be officially known as Southern Tulane. So, with that being said, welcome to Southern Tulane. And all of the podcasts that we've done up until this point, there were about 14 or 15 of them, have all been moved, and there'll be links below to point in this direction, but have all been moved into Southern Tulane's repertoire of playlist. However, they still say Ragnar Riders, so that's part of our history, and that will never go away, and I don't want it to go away. But from here forward, it will be known as Southern Tulane, and even when John comes back, it'll be Southern Tulane until we decide to change it again if we want to. We do have some I guess new riders that we've met and that we've come in contact with that will be joining us on the very near future podcasts and videos. But for this particular one, we just wanted to kind of reach out to everyone, and that again, those that follow us, there's like, we have like two, maybe three now. Is that maybe four or five. But seriously though, let's revisit for a minute, if you don't mind, DJ, our mission and goal at hand when we first started this, and kind of who we were gearing towards, what our goal was, and who we wanted to reach out to in our podcast and in our videos.
Okay. So I think I'll speak for myself. I felt like when I first got into motorcycling, specifically the Harley world, it was really big. It
Overwhelming?
Was overwhelming at times. You start talking about these motorcycle rallies and how there's thousands and thousands of people, and there's events and there's group rides, and all of those things have their place. But when you're new into this world, navigating, don't
Good word.
Yeah, good word for that.
Yeah.
Navigating those things and kind of finding your spot was a struggle, really. We mentioned the intimidation of going to the rallies, and am I going to fit in, and what's going to be going on, and what's happening over here, and what's happening over there. And so I really just wanted to kind of share what I had learned from getting going, and help people see the motorcycle world that's out there, and what it can bring to you.
Sure. Through your eyes.
Through mine.
And through mine, and whomever may join us. We've met lots of amazing folks over the years. We first went to as a group, we first went to our first rally in the fall of 22. You had went in the spring of 22. I had been to Thunder Beach many years ago when I used to ride, but it was more of a party scene than it was going down there for motorcycle stuff. Now we kind of have a far more interest in motorcycle stuff. Party is sometimes happens, sometimes it don't. But but I will concur with you on it is it's a machine out there. I mean, it's got cogs and spokes and wheels and parts moving, and I actually introduced one of the guys that started riding with us, Chris. I actually introduced him to the rally world. And so you'll get a good tickle out of this because you know the whole story. But, thinking that if you're introducing somebody to the rally world, you want to take them to, hey, let's run down to Thunder Beach for a couple of days. All right. Or let's go to somewhere just for a couple of days, get a taste of things. Now, how about he rides 1,500 miles on his bike from Birmingham, Alabama to Sturgis, South Dakota, and enjoys the granddaddy of all rallies for his first rally. All right. Now we'll hear more from him on that here in a little while, in another episode. But welcome to the rally world.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, this is something I hadn't told him. But Jeremy and I actually were talking about it. Like there were times, and I don't know if he even realizes it, but there were times that I could see the overwhelming on his face.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we would go in, and Jeremy and I would be kicking, and hey, let's do this, and he would be behind us, like, because it's
he
it's
did
big
go down
world.
to Thunder Beach with us.
He did. He went down in May with us. That's right. So I forgot about
And
that.
I feel like he was kind of taken aback by that.
He was.
And you and I both were like, dude,
Yeah.
you got no idea. This is
Yeah.
baby stuff.
I mean, we went to the rally, and he's like, I want one of those. I want one of those. I want one of those. Give me that. Put that two of those on.
Yeah. Yeah. This is baby stuff compared to, Daytona's bike week in
Oh, yeah.
spring. It's just
It is.
gigantic. And I've not been able to go to Sturgis yet. John and I had planned to go to Sturgis this year, and then with things developing with him, we decided to postpone that. I didn't want to go without him. I felt like we had that conversation. It was something we wanted to do together, and
Sure.
look forward to getting to do that in the future together. So we're shooting for next year. Hope that goes as planned. But yeah. So I feel like Chris kind of got a taste there
He did. Yeah.
in Panama City, and then you just
Baptized.
yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't a
Good
Methodist
word, yeah.
baptism, all right? Now, we're not certain
No.
denominations where you
Full
sprinkle them with
submersion.
water here. Like we took and we dunked him, like we went
That
under.
was a Baptist Duncan right there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But the thing about it is there's so much. I wish, and you and I, oh my God, part of the reason why we're even here right now is because we wished we had somebody that would have taken us by the hand and said, hey, let me take you to this rally. Let me show you what it's about.
Mhm.
That way you're not going down there and being stupid. All right.
Yeah.
Because we might have went and been stupid a couple times, purchases and this, that, and the other. So I wish we'd have had somebody to kind of do that. So that's kind of what it was about. This guy I met through my sister. He rides. He has a passion for riding. Great guy. So we started just kind of riding around here together. And this goes back to what you were talking about earlier too. I was just here, squirrel for me here, but it's a different world. Just grabbing a bike and running out the garage down to grab a bite to eat. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands across the U.S. and the world do that on a daily basis almost. But that's all they do. We have been very blessed, lucky, whatever you want to call it, to be able to venture out beyond that. Whether it be a day ride, a weekend ride, a week's ride, a month ride, whatever, we've been able to do different things. But back to the conversation we was doing though. So it's this guy was just kind of hungry. An opportunity came, and he was asking questions, and he listened to our podcasts, and lo and behold, they apparently helped him out a little bit, and he's done some upgrades on his bike and some other things that we'll hear about down the road. And but that's kind of what we're here for. Is to if you're a mechanic out there and you're a professional, and you're probably laughing at us. We've said that before. You're probably like, these guys are ha or whatever, and that's fine. Move along. We're not here for you. We're really here for the guy that just don't know a lot, the guy that don't ride a lot, but maybe would like to know a little more than what he does. And let me tell you something. I run across them every day in our community when I pull up on the bike at the pizza joint or the wing joint. And they're saying, hey, I saw on Facebook where you just got back from Sturgis. Hey, and they're asking questions and this, that, and the other. And it's fun to be able to say, answer them questions. And, again, back to wish I had somebody to ask my questions to and get answers when I started.
Yeah, 100%. It's easy to get caught up in the, certainly in today's marketing world, you can get overwhelmed with, different exhaust systems and parts and pieces, and very, very easy to just get overwhelmed with that and not really know what direction you want to go.
Agree. I think that we started off talking about cams. We started talking about we did a couple of episodes on that. We did a couple of episodes on tune. We talked about some other upgrades that the bike offers between bars and seats and other aspects of the motorcycle, slip-ons, full exhaust, like you said. And I think we have found ourselves. I think, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a bottomless pit. I mean, I think, and you asked me one time, at some point, do you think you'll find a place where you'll go out to the garage or to a rally and go, man, that looks good, but I just really don't have anything else to do to my bike? I want to say yes, and I think I said yes back when you first asked me that question a couple of years ago. But today I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't add to it, but maybe I change. I mean, and an example with that is I did an upgrade on the Limited back in December, did a stage 2 on it, and some other things that made it a little more in the stage 2. Put a Star 3030 cam in it. Loved the cam. It just didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. So here in the last 30 days or so, I pulled that 3030 out and put in a CR. What was it? What did I put in there?
Oh,
483.
480 vagina
Yeah.
juice or something. Was it called?
483. And a little more horsepower than torque, which, your typical 2-up bikes don't. They go more torquey. But yeah, me likey. It's got a different sound and kind of along the lines of what I think, originally expecting and wanting.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I didn't upgrade to a cam. I just changed to cam. But that's never in the process. And since we did our last one, well, you had just bought the GS, I think, right before we did our 3 episodes from Daytona.
Yep.
So you've got the 1250. I've been looking and can't find an ADV that I want, and now you've recently purchased another smaller ADV, one you can stump jump with. I want to see that.
I can attempt it.
Feels a little better that he might be able to handle it. But those are going to be episodes coming up because he's got some rallies he's going to, and then we've got all of our fall rallies and things we're going to do. So there's going to be lots of fun stuff ahead. We're hoping to grow this thing a little bit and make all you guys a part of it. But our initial want here was just to say, hey, John, we love you, buddy. If you listen to this or watch it, excited for you to come back as soon as you're ready. In the meantime, we'll throw you on here every now and then when you're available for just chit chat and talk motorcycle parts, because you've still got your bikes and I know you still love to ride. So what's your final take on this episode while we're, I guess, transitioning is the term?
No, I mean, you nailed it. Hope we can get John back on at some point. I did, he and I went to Missouri a few weeks ago.
That's right.
There for the weekend. He was up there for a baseball tournament or something. I tagged along. He was gracious enough to let me go. Got to do some riding up there. It was pretty cool, but he had his son's LRS there. I got to ride it a little bit. That's a pretty cool bike. So,
yep.
Got a little bit of perspective on that, and
a couple hundred pounds lighter.
Yeah, a couple hundred pounds lighter for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to get John on, get kind of his take on the LRS. He certainly knows more about the Dyna world, if you will, knows more about that world than I do. So
sure.
And I think a lot of people are into that style of riding, and so yeah, I hope we get some perspective there.
I think we will, and we've got, like I said, we've got some other guests we're going to have on, and some other guys maybe joining us on a semi-permanent or permanent basis, and we're just excited about trying to grow the channel. If it's your first time, hey, hit that subscribe button, slap that bell, so you'll get notified when more episodes come out. We'll be on Apple Podcasts and Spreaker and Spotify and all the other locations as well. TikTok, it's at Southern Tulane. YouTube is at Southern Tulane. We've got some other social medias tagged that we'll put in the description in the bottom here. But God bless. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to more. And until next time, Tulane out.